just mean that it's no longer 1937, and we absolutely wrote a Snow White that is
not going to be saved by the prince.
She's not going to be saved by the prince, and she's not going to be dreaming about true love. Whether or not she finds love along the way is anybody's guess until 2024. All of Andrew's scenes could get cut. Who knows?
After the huge controversy Disney has caused, Lucy Hale might just be able to replace Rachel Zegler in the Snow White disaster. Not only does Lucy actually look the part, but she's even proven exactly how much she'd love to play Snow White. Fans believe that after all the controversy Disney and Rachel Zegler have caused for the Snow White movie, it's time to kick Rachel out and bring in Lucy Hale, not only because her looks are absolutely perfect, but also because fans believe Lucy would be able to represent Snow White's personality better than Rachel ever could. Disney has tried its best to seemingly make the movie something completely different to the original, starting with its casting choices. Casting Rachel Zegler, a Latina, as Snow White wasn't well received by fans, as not only does she not fit the character description at all, but she doesn't even seem to understand the role very well. Snow White is all about love and friendship, while also knowing full well she can be a ruler. And it's something that Rachel seems to have thrown out the window, as she doesn't believe that this Snow White fits her feministic vision. According to Rachel, Snow White shouldn't have a love interest, as it's not important to the story. To her, the love story is completely outdated and shouldn't be shown to new generations, despite the fact that it's such a classic that nobody has ever had a problem with before. It sounds like Disney is trying to create a feminist Snow White. However, it isn't done with the fans in mind. Many fans have been arguing against this decision, as love is never anti-feminist. And Disney's new era that seems to be against showing romantic love is not a step in the right direction when it comes to representing girls. This, along with Disney's obsession to try and cast POC roles just because they want to add POC representations to stories, is not doing anything but turning away loyal fans who've grown up with these stories. Having more representation in movies is never a bad thing, as all forms of people should be able to recognize themselves in iconic stories. However, it becomes a problem when it makes no sense for the plot. Many have argued that Disney should just focus on making new original stories, where the focus and the world building can actually do POC actors justice, instead of trying to push POC into roles that were made with different ethnicities in mind. Snow White is a German fairy tale originating from the Grimm brothers' stories, and it's very clearly set in a German forest and a German fairy tale castle. It's something that's very deeply integrated in German history, as this is something very naturally occurring in Germany. Snow White is not white just because she's white because she's based on a German fairy tale. The character description makes it very clear that her skin is as white as snow, which is why she's even named Snow White. Taking this away from the character makes no sense, since her name wouldn't be accurate anymore, which is why many fans believe that casting a tan actress for the role was a huge mistake. While Rachel is an incredible singer who would surely do Snow White's singing justice, there's not much else that connects her to the character. The way she's been talking about the universe has especially been disheartening to fans, since she seems downright disrespectful.
She's gonna be saved by the prince, and she's not gonna be dreaming about true love. She's dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can be, and the leader that her late father told her that she could be if she was fearless, fair, brave, and true.
In fact, Rachel has not only made a mockery of Snow White, but she's even admitted to never even having liked it growing up. As a child, Rachel admitted to having seen the movie once, but that she never saw it again, and that it even terrified her.
I was scared of the original cartoon. I think I watched it once and then I never picked it up again. Like, I'm being so serious. I watched it once and then I went on the ride in Disney World, which was called Snow White's Scary Adventures. Doesn't sound like something a little kid would like. Was terrified of it. Never revisited Snow White again.
Many fans believe that this makes Rachel really undeserving of the role, considering there are so many other actresses who could do just as good of an acting job that have more respect for the character and even look like her. After all the controversy Disney has gotten itself into both, with the movie's direction and Rachel's words, many fans are now calling for a recreation. The movie has already been delayed several times, which means that Disney certainly has the power to do it if they get enough hate on something. The first time was when the news of the movie first came out, and many assumed that Disney would be casting actors with dwarfism to play the role. However, it was something that actor Peter Dinklage wasn't happy to hear, and he actually called out Disney for playing into stereotypes.
I was a little taken back by the they were very proud to cast a Latino actress as Snow White.
Yeah.
But you're still telling the story of Snow White.
Yeah.
Seven Dwarfs.
Sure.
So, look, take a step back and look at what you're doing there. It makes no sense to me. You're progressive in one way, but you're still making that fucking backward story of seven dwarves living in a cave. What the f are you doing, man?
This is why Disney then changed the look of the dwarfs and even changed their origins, as they were now called magical forest creatures. From the behind-the-scene pictures that were shared around, the actors were very diverse, some taller, some smaller, and even ethnically diverse. However, fans were absolutely appalled by this, as they thought that the creatures looked awful and that the spirit of the movie would be entirely lost if we didn't have the same dwarfs that everyone knew from the original movie. Many actors with dwarfism even came out to call out Disney for the choice, since they believed that not only did it destroy the movie, but it also took away from roles that could have gone to actors with dwarfism.
There are actors, dwarf actors, that dream to be in a major motion picture such as this Disney remake. And now, because Peter Dinklage said what he said last year, now it's taken away.
Many were mad not just at Peter, who initiated this movement, but also at Disney, which is why they decided to put a stop to the movie once again and move the release date to 2025 instead of 2024. This proved once and for all that, if Disney got enough backlash, they would rather move up the movie than lose their audience. Unfortunately, the new movie that Disney has decided on is CGI dwarfs, as seen in a new photo shown online of the dwarfs surrounding Rachel Zegler. This wasn't a welcome choice either, since fans think the dwarfs look absolutely horrible, even worse than before. Because of this, it might actually mean that the movie could be pushed back even more, which could give the studio room to perhaps start all over with a new actress. Rachel, along with the dwarfs, are clearly very hated by fans, and if Disney doesn't do something about it, it might mean a total box office flop. If Disney wants to salvage its legacy, the only right move would be to scrap the entire thing and start over, which might mean that the studio could end up saving money from the audience if they actually manage to do it right. This is why fans are now calling for someone like Lucy Hale to take on the role of Snow White, since they believe that not only does she have the perfect looks for it, but she also seems to be very enthusiastic about playing her. Lucy has been a very well-loved celebrity for years now, and she has a strong fan base that could bring in even more fans if she were to take on the role. Nobody could argue that she wasn't the perfect Snow White either, since she's even proven that she looks like her in the past. Lucy seems to love to embody that Snow White vibe, and she's proven it by doing several looks that seem very inspired by the character. On her show Pretty Little Liars, she even seems to have dressed exactly like Snow White, headband and all, and it's very obvious Lucy absolutely loves the Snow White look. She herself has also admitted that she thinks she looks like Snow White, like when she posted a picture captioned, "Dressed up like Snow White today," alongside an apple emoji. The comments also seem to agree that she looks exactly like Snow White in the picture, and many even thought that she would be perfect if she was cast for the role. So beautiful, you would make the perfect Snow White. This was much before the Snow White movie was announced, meaning that fans oftentimes brought up Lucy Hale whenever there was any discussion surrounding who should play the iconic character. In fact, some people even made petitions online calling for Lucy to be cast. Someone wrote in one petition saying, "Lucy Hale seems to be a natural choice to play such an iconic princess since she is an amazing singer and actress." However, despite all of this, Disney still chose to go for Rachel, who has now caused so much controversy for the studio. There's no doubt that the studio regrets their choices now that they've gotten so much backlash, and it's proven by the constant delays. Now it's only a question of time before they decide to recast Rachel and hopefully have Lucy jump in for the role that she seems to be born to play. Lucy is no stranger to playing princesses either, since she starred in A Cinderella Story, which really proved she would be perfect for such a role. Not only is she an amazing actress, but she can also sing, which fits every single Snow White angle. Do you guys believe Lucy Hale would be the perfect Snow White? Let me know down below, and don't forget to check out this other video.